Okay, so the next videos we're going to be talking about is part 2 of the exponents. Part 1, we talked more about multiplying exponents with the same base. Now we're going to talk about dividing exponents with the same base, okay? And it's a pretty simple rule. Before we add it, now when you divide two exponents with the same base, we subtract, okay? So we're going to go through some examples. We're going to start from, as usual, the easier ones, and then I'll get to a little more challenging ones, so you get a good grasp of how it works. So let's do number 1. We have x to the 8 power divided by x to the 4 power. What do? You subtract, right? When you have the same bases. They have to be the same. Remember, when they're not the same, you can't do that. So, and we're going to go through it in a further video on when the bases are not the same and how you would do those problems. But for now, we're going to do the same bases so you get a feel of it. So what you do here, so you copy that base, x, right? 8 minus 4. Because you subtract. That's the rule. And you get x to the 4th. Pretty simple, right? So we'll do number 2, okay? 3 to the 2a power divided by 3 to the negative 5a power. So same rule, same base. So we have 2a minus a negative 5a. And what will that be? Remember your minus minus, so it's plus plus. So you will get 3 to the 7a power. Okay, pretty simple, not too bad. Number 3 is a little more challenging because now we're gonna have a multiplication in addition to the division. So I kind of mixed it a little in. You know, I mean, after a while it gets kind of too easy. All you're doing is subtracting. So I'm gonna get you to thinking a little bit more now. So number 3, you have 2 on the top now. You got 2 elements, 8 to the negative y power times 8 to the 3y power divided by 8 to the a power. Okay, so what do you do there? So let's do the first thing first. Let's do the top. Remember the first theorem from the other video? We add the exponents when they're the same. So when the base is the same, so it's 8 negative y plus 3y, okay, divided by 8 to the a. And what's negative y plus 3y? That's just 8 to the 2y, right? Right? Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. 8 to the a. And what do you do when you're dividing with the same base? You subtract the exponents, right? So keep the same base, which is 8, right? 2y minus 8. And that's it. Not too bad. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Number 4. So we have something now. I'm putting radicals again on the exponent. You know, so you get a feel. I mean, radicals they're just like numbers, just like everything else. Okay? So you got 10 to the 5 root a power divided by 10 to the 8 root a power. So what do you do there? Same rule. Since they're the same base, make sure they're the same base first. And they're dividing, so we're subtracting. That's it. So we get 5 to the root a minus root a, okay? So you get 10 to the negative 3 root a. But if you learned, I don't know if you have, but you can't have a negative exponent, really. Let's just say, you know, they do accept it. The answer is 10 to the negative 3 root a. But if you can't have a negative exponent, if they don't allow it, all you do is just what? You flip it over, right? And we'll just get 1 over 10 to the 3 root a power. They're both, you know, correct. It's just sometimes they don't like negative exponents. Some teachers don't like it. If they say it, then just flip it over and become like this. So that's all. So number 5 goes y to the negative 1/2 power. You know, I'm going to throw a fraction in there, over y to the 3/2 power. So you get a little mixture of everything. That's how I like to teach these problems, because I don't want you to see something you never seen before. Like, oh no, what do I do now? It's always the same rules. It's just, you just have to follow the rules. That's all you have to do. So we have y to the negative 1/2 power. Okay? And since it's the same base, you're subtracting, right? So you subtract 3/2. And y to negative 1/2 minus 3/2. What's negative 1/2 minus 3/2? That's negative 4 over 2, right? Negative 4 over 2 is just negative 2. And that's how you divide exponents with the same base, and next one we're going to move over to doing exponents on top of another exponent, another power.